Hi everyone, I'm Grace McDonald. Welcome to Northern Ag TV. Well, the first case of Palmer Amaranth was identified in Carter County, which is also the first case in Montana this year, following 2 cases in 2023 in both Daniels and Toole counties. Palmer Amaranth, a pigweed species, is a lot more problematic than other weeds due to its rapid growth, herbicide resistance, and fast seed production. The weeds tend to grow in corn and millet as well as sugar beets, cereal crops, and pulse crops. MSU Extension says that water hemp is another pigweed species that has high resistance to multiple herbicides and to be on the lookout. The pigweed species is best identified during flowering season, so now is the time to be on the lookout. Well, RCAF USA has submitted comments to the Department of Agriculture asking them to repeal the Sustains Act. According to RCAF USA, the Sustains Act is a way for corporate to have more control and influence over federal funded programs, meaning more control and influence over farmers and ranchers. The concern for independent producers is that the act allows the USDA to accept private funding for conservation programs, which would increase corporate influence over USDA programs. RCAF fears that this control would lead to favoring those with deeper pockets and undermining smaller independent farmers and ranchers. RCAF USA President Brett Kenzie said that a law like the Sustains Act unites corporate and government power, blurring those rules of legal and ethical behavior. Walker Milhoen, a producer originally from Colorado, has created an online digital database that is a way for producers that are interested in regenerative agriculture to get connected. By visiting simplelivestock.com, you can browse ranches in Montana and really all over the United States to see what kind of regenerative agricultural practices they are implementing on their operations.
So my end goal for it is really to create just a really robust agricultural database where other ranchers can connect and do peer-to-peer business, like a Google resource for agriculture.
From the beginning, we've worked closely with farmers. BNSF's ties to the agricultural community go back 175 years. Together, we've innovated to make the U.S. agriculture supply chain one of the most efficient and productive in the world. Our strong relationship powers BNSF still today and helps us move the nation like no one else can. At BNSF, we move the nation for you.
The American Farm Bureau Federation, among many other ag groups, is urging the White House to intervene on the possible port strike in the East and Gulf coasts. According to U.S. Senator Ted Cruz, the strike could cost the United States economy $5 billion daily. If the International Longshoremen's Association and the United States Maritime Alliance do not work something out by the 30th of September, 45,000 port workers will be represented in the strike. Reuters authors said that according to the U.S. Customers data, of the almost $5.5 billion in the U.S. poultry meat products exports last year, that 2/3 was shipped from the East and Gulf Coast ports. Although traders wait for the cash cattle market to trade, cattle futures do continue to hold on to gains made earlier in the week. The original expectation was that cash cattle could trade higher this week with opportunity to sell more head of cattle, but the weakness in box beef prices hasn't given traders any support. Box beef bids $1.50 lower at about $2.97 and cash cattle bids steady to $1 lower. Over 400 head of cattle sold at the public auction yards this week, a little bit softer compared to last week's sale, but still showing the best demand. Big heavy cows traded at $128 down to $110 on the lighter weights. Cow quality was good this week. 2 to 4-year-old bred cows trading at mostly $20.34, 5 to 8-year-olds at $122 per hundredweight, and broken mouth bred cows at $111. A big feeder sale in Torrington selling $5 to $10 higher on most of the sales. A big lot of heavy 7-weight steers sold at $246 to $262, and the 900 weight class sold from $227 on the heavier end up to $240 on the 9 to 9.5 pounders. Heifers from 8 to 8.5 pounds sold at $234 and heavy 8 weights at $231. Moving on to the grain markets, the Ag Department expects wheat export sales at a wide range between 8 and 22 million bushels, either way well ahead of last year's pace. After recovering from recent losses with some decent gains, wheat prices have softened up. Row crop prices have softened up a bit as well after the gains this week in both corn and soybean futures. Well, that's it for today on Northern Ag TV. Thanks for joining us. I'm Grace McDonald.